Great. Good morning and welcome to the Philadelphia Fair Housing Commission. As I said, my name is Allie DeMedeiros. I'm the attorney for the Philadelphia Fair Housing Commissioners. Also present today from the Fair Housing Commission staff is Miss Alexis Enlow, your case manager. And you'll also see the name Jomaris Castro Almeida. She runs our Zoom hearings for us. Before we get started, I have to go over a few things with you. First, you're being recorded. We record all our hearings. By remaining on the line and participating in the hearing, you are consenting to be recorded. Our Zoom hearings have the same force and effect as if we were in person. The only difference is on Zoom, we do not have a court reporter. In the event either party wants to appeal a final order of this commission, you can reach out to myself or the case manager, Ms. Enlow, and we will provide you a copy of the video recorded. Please be mindful of what you're saying and doing because it is being recorded. Second, at 9 o'clock this morning, the commissioners and myself, the attorney, met in a private executive session to discuss the day's cases. We do this every hearing day with every case. Third, the parties had the opportunity to submit documents. I have the submitted documents saved on my computer and can share them with everyone on the screen. Please keep in mind that the commission generally only reviews the very basic documents in a case prior to a hearing. If you would like a document reviewed by the commission, please reference it by name, date, or description so that I can post it on the screen for everyone to look at the same time. Lastly, during the course of today's hearing, it might be necessary for the commissioners to speak privately to make decisions in this matter. If they need to do that, they will invite you to join separate rooms divided by party called breakout rooms. A prompt will come on your screen at the appropriate moment asking you if you would like to join a breakout room. We will direct you to click join if you see that prompt. Once in the breakout room, please remain in that room. We will never end a hearing when you are in a separate room. Please make sure you're back in this main room and that a commissioner or staff member dismisses you before you log off or hang up. Thank you very much for listening. With that, I'm going to hand the case over to Ms. Enlow.
Morning, everyone. This is the matter of Shayna Carey versus Dimitri Baird and Tior Gill. This is the first fair housing hearing for this matter. The docket number is 2025-01-09-19604. At this time, beginning with the tenant, can you please state and then spell your first and last names slowly and clearly for the record?
Shayna Carey. First name Shayna, S-H-A-N-A. Last name Carey, C-A-R-E-Y.
Thank you. Landlord, can you please state and spell your first and last name slowly and clearly for the record? Ms. Orgill, can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Yes, it's Tia Orgill. First name Tia, T-I-A-A. Last name Orgill, O-R-G-I-L-L.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to swear the parties in. Can you please raise your right hands? Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. The commission has 3 rules for today's hearing. First, do not speak over or interrupt each other, and do not speak over or interrupt the commissioners. Each party will have an opportunity to give testimony and present evidence. Second, please do not use generic phrases such as he or she. When you refer to an individual, please use the tenant, the landlord, or their name to keep the record clear. Third, when giving a date, please give a complete date that includes the year each time. The commissioners present today are Commissioner Baez, Commissioner Brunson, and Commissioner Butler. Thank you.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the Fair Housing Commission. Given that the tenant brought this case before us, we're going to first begin with the tenant and then the landlord will have an opportunity to respond. Ms. Carey, you filed this complaint with the Fair Housing Commission on January 9th, 2025. Is that correct?
Yes.
And can you please state the property address that we're here to discuss?
1839 South 57th Street, 2nd floor, Philadelphia, PA, 19143.
And are you still residing at the property?
Yes.
And when did you first move into the property?
October 27, 2008.
Okay, and what is the monthly rent?
The monthly rent was $550 a month, but me and the landlord, Dimitri Baird, had came to an understanding of me paying $450 a month because I was assisting with his mother.
Okay, so what is the current rent as of today?
As of today, $450, I'm sorry.
And when was the last time that you last paid rent to the landlord?
December 26, 2024.
And you are withholding rent for the month of January, February, March, and April?
What, I'm sorry. No, I never, it was never an intentions to withhold rent. I paid my rent December 26th, 2024. And on December 31st, 2024, I received a text message from Dimitri saying that I had to vacate the property, that he was selling it.
Okay. So what was the reason for your, okay, so you haven't paid rent since December of 2024. What is the reason for not paying rent since then?
He's not accepting the rent. They want me to vacate the property.
So they are telling you not to pay them rent. Is that
Correct.
what you're saying?
Correct.
When you first moved in or at any time, have you received a certificate of renter suitability?
No, I only received the lease.
Have you received a lead safe certificate
No.
at any time during your tenancy?
Nope.
Did you pay the landlord a security deposit?
No, I've just paid first month's.
And you filed this complaint because the landlord wants you to vacate the property. And you received a notice to vacate in January of 2025, is that correct?
Correct.
And in that notice, the landlord provided you with a reason for wanting you to leave.
Dimitri Baird, I'm sorry, only sent me a text message saying that he wanted to redo the whole upstairs. So he needed me to vacate in 30 days. Miss Tia gave,
Okay,
oh,
I see the letter on the screen. Okay. Okay, before we ask you any additional questions, are there any commissioners who have questions of the tenant?
No questions.
Okay, I'm gonna move over to the landlord because I wanna establish documents regarding the property and the right to own it, to rent it in Philadelphia. Okay, so who for the landlord will be speaking?
Me, Tia Orgill.
Okay, so you heard the tenant. She stated that she did not receive a certificate of renter suitability. Is that accurate from your perspective?
According to my understanding, can I elaborate on that?
Well, I just need to know whether or not she ever received that document.
No.
I'm sorry?
No, she had, according to my understanding and my knowledge from 2008, she did not.
Okay, or at any time since 2008?
Correct.
Okay, and has a lead safe certificate ever been presented to the tenant?
Well, may I say that she wasn't a tenant, but no, it was not because she wasn't a tenant, considered to be a tenant.
Okay.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, at any time during her tenancy, has she ever been presented with that document?
No, the
Okay.
time that she's living in the property, she
Does a lead safe certificate exist? Has any lead testing ever been done to the property?
yes, I believe so. According to my my father, the house was acquired many years ago prior to 2008, and they have gotten it done. So with that said, as of right now,
Let me just ask
it was not
this.
to her.
Since 2008 through the present, has a lead testing been done to the property?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Is there a license for this property?
Yes,
And when was that obtained?
you're saying insurance or
No,
what
license
kind
to
of?
rent. So in the city of Philadelphia, landlords are required to have a license to rent
Yes, it has been, it was licensed years ago. Yes, correct. In 2008. Yes, uh-huh.
Is there a current license for this property?
No, it was not. There was no updated licensing because we do not have a tenant in the property.
So there's no license to rent for this property?
No, not as of right now. No,
Okay.
because we do not have a tenant in the property.
Okay, so you're saying that Miss Carey is not a tenant?
That is correct. She is not, she was never considered as a tenant.
Okay, so on the screen, we are being shown what appears to look like a rental contract between Miss Carey and I can't see.
Dimitri Barrett.
Okay, which is also a landlord, right?
Yes, he is my father, and he is, if we could establish that, he is my father, and I am the power of attorney over the property.
So it looks like a lease was signed between your father and the tenant in 2008. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that would establish a tenancy.
Okay. So that is correct.
Okay.
If I may add,
Have you accepted rent from this tenant as recently as December of 2024?
it was contribution to the property. Yes. Contribution to the property. Yes.
Rent to stay in the property?
Not particularly, because she is a family member to the landlord. I don't know if that was established.
What's her relationship to you or Mr. Barrett?
Mr. Barrett, that's her niece, and she's a niece to Mr. Barrett.
I'm his cousin.
Okay,
Excuse me, because
Okay, the tenant explained that starting in January of 2025, the landlord is no longer accepting rent. Is that your position as well?
again, the contribution to the property, if somebody is staying there, even as a family member, as it was agreed upon, we, electricity, water bill, whatever, has to be established. She's an adult. So of course, a contribution to the property would be accepted. So nobody told her specifically that she shouldn't contribute anything any longer in the property. As you can see too.
All right, so I just need a clear understanding. Her testimony was that starting in January of 2025, she was told that no rent was being collected.
She was never told that.
Okay, so then rent will be collected?
She was never told that.
Whether it's called a contribution or whatever it's called, is money being requested of her in exchange for living at the property?
No, not as of right now, and we never told her not to.
No, I don't know if okay, maybe I'm not being clear. Is any money being asked of Miss Carey in order to live at the property? Whether it's a contribution or rent, whatever it's called, is any money being requested of her in exchange to live at the property?
She's an adult, and yes, it was agreed upon many years ago, that she should pay according to the lease agreement. You had it on the screen, so can I speak on that?
sure, there's a lease where she was required to pay rent.
Okay, Ali,
Okay.
can we just take a recess at this time?
Sure,
Thank you.
let's take a
Parties are gonna be asked to go into a breakout room so that the commissioners can discuss.
Everyone, please click join.
Is that the tenant? It appears that the tenant is back in the room. Can all parties hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, Ms. Carey, we need to ask you additional information about your relationship to the landlord, Dimitri Barrett. How exactly are you related to Mr. Barrett?
He's on my mother's side. He's my mother's cousin. His mother and my mother's, if I'm saying this correct, his mother and my mother's father are brother and sister. I'm sorry. So the aunt that used to live downstairs, my aunt Doris, and my mother's father, they are brother and sister.
So is he your relative by blood or through?
Yes, sorry.
So you said he is your mother's cousin?
Yes, what makes him my cousin? Yes.
Ms. Orgil, do you agree?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and to your knowledge, you have never been presented with a Let's Safe certificate?
No, only the rent receipt. I mean lease. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. You did have the lease agreement on the screen. Can I please since you established it, can I speak on what I saw on the screen?
Yes, you may.
Okay. So according to my knowledge, a lease agreement was given to her as a formality back in 2008, which is 16 years ago, by her cousin, as she was going to be staying in the property to oversee the elderly, which is my grandmother. She was going to be, watching over her. It was given to her as a form, and keep in mind, they didn't want anybody else in the property, such as a tenant, outside family member, let's say. So my father went ahead and gave her a lease agreement without security deposit, under market value, just so that she could get her electricity turned on and, whatever else she needed to do. She was helping her out. He was helping her out. The lease agreement says $550 at the time. She was never paying, maybe for 1 month or whatever. Again, she moved in for the purpose of taking care of overseeing my grandmother. So she was really never paying $450 a month. She was never paying $550 a month. Addition to that lease, I saw that something was updated on there, which, to my knowledge, nothing was really updated on that lease because nothing was ever signed as well. There was no signature on the lease. I don't know where that came from. As far as in 2024, that it says, I don't have any knowledge of my father ever updating any lease agreement from then.
Okay.
And I don't know if you could use the same lease from 2008 till today. So that's baffling to me.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
also, I would like to establish I'm a realtor in the state of Pennsylvania, and I never heard of, and I do manage properties, and I never seen where anybody can update the same lease from 2008 to today.
Okay. Do any commissioners have questions for either parties?
No questions.
No question. Can I say something? I'm
All
sorry.
right, you will have an opportunity to give any last remarks. You can do so now.
Okay, well, just addressing the lease. As far as the lease, this updated lease he sent me through text message. So I have no dealings with it. I asked him for a copy of the one from 2008 because I didn't have it anymore. And he sent it to me, and I'm not sure exactly what pages it's on, but somebody updated because it has different pen writing that says it would end December 2024. And when I moved in here in 2008, the understanding was I was going to be renting a property. I was never asked to take care of my aunt until later down the line when she got really bad off sick, because she's a very independent person. And my mom and my cousin Dimitri Berry is the one that made the connection about me renting this apartment up here. And that's how I've been here so long.
Okay, thank you.
Can I add?
So we don't need any other testimony on this topic. Ali, is there any other information that we need from either party?
No, if you want to take another recess, we can do that.
Yes, we can take a recess.
Pausing the recording, please.
Okay, the parties are back in the room and the commission is ready to issue a final order. The commission is finding that because of the familiar relationship in this case, okay, first, we are establishing that there is a landlord-tenant relationship. So there is a tenancy between the parties. However, because of the familiar relationship among the parties, no license to rent is required, and also no certificate of renter suitability is required. However, a lead safe certificate is required when someone is residing in a property. And until the landlord obtains a lead safe certificate and provides it to the tenant or the city of Philadelphia, no rent or contribution can be collected. We are also going to be asking the landlord to address and close the LNI violations that are listed in the property. Are there any questions?
Yes. Again, we're not asking her to pay anything. We want her to leave. So I don't know why she's still.
So that is something
What is-
that you and the tenant will have to address. The order is what I stated. It will be in writing. If you have any issues with the order, it can be appealed to the Court of Common Pleas, but beyond that, we're not going to mediate further or beyond the order that I've just stated. It will be in writing. You will have an opportunity to read it over, but we're not going to mediate anything beyond that, which is what I'm hearing you are asking.
What how do you do this? What do you have to do? You said close the LNI.
Yes, it will be all in the order that we are going to be giving you and the tenants.
Okay, no problem. And you also said that anybody living on the premises has to get a lead-based paint. That is correct certificate. Again,
No,
I just established power of attorney of this property most recently, so I was not aware that she was never given anything as such. So with that said, I'm not giving her anything, right? Because she's not supposed to be in the property at this point.
no, she has a right to be there. You need to get a lead certificate and give it to her.
Until we go to court otherwise. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so that's what the final order will say. It will be in writing. It is appealable. Okay, at this time, if there's no further questions, we're ending this hearing.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Have a good day.
Stick around, please.
Me?
No, just the commissioners.
Okay.